do you know?
I'm not prepared to answer that right now. But yeah, I mean, that was the density that was put in the comprehensive plan for that district for multifamily. It was probably backed out somehow from that table on table 10, table 10-1 that we've been going over. But I'd have to look at it further to figure that out, yeah.
The other, the couple other things that I found on page 208 in the comprehensive plan, for anybody who wants to look it up, it says amendments to the existing zoning would allow development of duplexes in areas with water and sewer. This type of development would be consistent with existing neighborhood density and character. So duplex, they were recommending and pushing duplexes. The development of 3 to 4 unit apartment structures in the commercial limited CL zone would also be consistent with the character of this area. So it sounded like, and I think I've missed, and then later on it reiterates it to say, encourage the development of 3 to 4 unit affordable housing in the commercial limited zoning district, encourage the development of additional duplexes in the commercial limited and the R8 zoning districts. And whether that's a recommendation for the future or not, we've gone beyond that already by encouraging duplexes in R20, which we have. We've already gone into that. And then it goes into the build-out table, and it says the findings of the build-out analysis. At the end, it says proposed changes in town ordinances and policy should consider the effect of a 32% population increase on community resources. The community should develop innovative controls to accommodate or limit the rate of population increase without further taxing our natural resources, residents, and present conditions in Jamestown. So I kind of looked at all of this and wondered just how much leeway the comprehensive plan allows for our...
Are you looking at the housing element of the old comprehensive, or the comprehensive plan?
I'm sorry?
Are you looking at the housing element of the comprehensive plan?
I was going through all different parts of it, but yes, the housing elements, yes.
Okay, that housing element that's in, this document was replaced by the affordable housing plan when that was adopted in 2005 by the state. So that element was replaced by the affordable housing plan that was adopted then. So Cindy just went up to, I got your message late this afternoon, but I was in another meeting down here because you said you didn't have a copy of the affordable housing plan.
Well, when you reference something...
So that is out of date.
Was it the affordable housing plan you were referencing, or was it something else? Because you referenced that Jamestown building document of 2004.
It was approved by the town in 2004, by the state in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The affordable housing plan, that is.
Okay, so what does
that is now our housing element of the comprehensive plan.
And what does that say about duplexes and about multifamily houses?
I'm looking at it now. What is it that you're looking for? I mean, there's a lot of language, an awful lot of language.
Well, what it had not done, what it was encouraging was extending duplex houses into commercial limited and R8, and also encouraging especially approved special permit, multifamily 3 or 4 unit homes in commercial limited. So there were a couple elements I was looking at. One is the absence of any R20 conversation, but 2, the fact that when it was talking about multifamily, it was only talking about 3 or 4 units. So, and it was talking about duplexes only as far as R8. Encouraging duplexes in commercial and R8. So I guess there are 3 different questions. Is what does the affordable housing plan say about duplexes in R20? What does it say about multifamily houses in R20? And what does it say about multifamily houses in general? Does it specify 3 or 4 units versus more than that?
Well, it talks about targeting appropriate parcels for infill development of affordable housing. That's one of the action items. And then there's another more verbiage in there, but it also has one for targeting appropriate buildings for adaptive reuse into affordable housing, which we kind of touch on. I think the point that Duncan made at the last meeting, in that it could also mean that you take existing houses, larger houses, and split them up into 3 and 4 units or more. So they have action items for that, but that's under the overall category of identify potential locations for affordable housing. Now, I mean, I don't think it's something that you want me to sit here and read to you, so maybe it would, be helpful to go through it, and then talk about it at the next meeting. But, one of the things, for example, revise the zoning ordinance to promote affordable housing. That's what we did basically when we just adopted the zoning ordinance. Strengthen partnerships and build community support for affordable housing, and there's action items under that as well. So there's a lot of the items, the action items or whatever that were in the old one, were not necessarily put forth directly into this one.
Right.
So they are somewhat different.
Are there any
Yeah.
verbiage in the affordable housing plan that talks about, where you should have duplexes versus multifamily in the R20? As I recall, when we go through, and this was, several years ago, it basically said just encourage affordable housing in the downtown district where water and sewer was available, because that was a driving factor to have it. And I don't recall any tables or verbiage that talked about, well, in the R20 you can have these kinds of things, and the RD you can have these kinds of things, like were in the old comprehensive plan. I could be wrong, I could be misremembering.
There was and I'm trying to find it right now, there was an item or a strategy that talked about changing the zoning, but I believe it was outside of the village district because it recognized that that multifamily structures were permitted outside of the core village district, and that those numbers should be looked at. I'm trying to find that strategy.
Well, I for one would very much appreciate the opportunity to look at this document that you got, because I was looking for it online and couldn't find it. And yes, I did call you about it. But I'm also wondering, because this is a question I had in the very beginning, which was wanting us to have a clearer sense of what the impact of what we were doing was. And if we were encouraging affordable housing and we've made a change, then what's the impact? If we know these build-out numbers and they're based on certain conditions, and they're based on 2000 and prior to that zoning, then I'd like to see us take what we've done already and update build-out numbers, or at least have some mechanism for doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be doing that over the next few years, and there's been so many variables in that even if you look at, we can do that once we decide on a scenario. It'd be difficult to do it, say, for 3 or 4 different scenarios.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is we've already approved certain things. We've approved, all the changes we made that were approved in October by the town council, and then we've already approved certain minimum lot sizes for duplexes. So we've made changes all the way up to duplexes already, and now we're looking at multifamily. Would this be a good time to say, take a breath and find out where we are?
Like I said, we could do that at any point. It's not an easy task, and it's not a simple task, but it certainly can be done. But I think we need to know what we're looking at first. We need to know, like if we decide that, yes, this is the route we would like to go, we want to allow multifamily structures on 40,000 square foot lots in the R20. Well, then that's a scenario that we can look at. We can look at it. We've already looked at the 200,000 square feet, what it is, in the previous ordinance, so we know that. So, I think it just depends on where we settle, and then we can certainly look at the numbers.
Well, isn't this all incremental? If you say duplex housing, you're going to have to find a different number for duplex housing. If you say infill with affordable housing, taking substandard lots, you already know. This is information that we would have to put together in piecemeal anyway. And why couldn't we do the numbers we already know about? We already know that we've created a mechanism whereby substandard lots could become a regular lot and an affordable lot. And the number of
those are in the
lots.
affordable housing plan. We know those numbers.
So,
and that's because that's what we just adopted, and that was based on the affordable housing plan.
Okay,
So
those
we
are
do know
not,
those
I guess,
numbers.
those are not numbers I have access to.
Yeah.
And this committee commission at this point, do we have access, other people have access to it that I don't know about? It would be nice to have a sense of what we've done. It's something
What it tells you in the affordable housing plan is that those lots, the infill lots, and I think that carried through in our discussions on the zoning ordinance update, there's a potential of 100 lots